What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla King of the Monsters news and updates. So I've got chapter times in the description below. Skip to whichever story you want. I want to be honest, this wasn't actually the video I wanted to make today. I know that's kind of like, it's just whatever at this point. I wanted to make a very particular video. I'm not going to say what that video is. I'll let that be a little passion project for when the mood hits. I'll just turn the camera on and go. But I also want to talk about this stuff. I think this stuff takes priority. So I'll do this first because Rodan, right? All right, starting out, we got some art here. This first piece comes to us from Cole's World. He took up my challenge from the previous video. Hit us with some sick Spider D-Man art. This one's Spider D-Man versus Godzilla. And just like Kong, I'm prepared to win that fight. Oh no, did I trigger too many people with that statement? Oh no, are you gonna try and fight me on Twitter? This one tricked me at first. I was like, Cersei Lannister. I was trying to figure out how to pronounce that name. I was like, that name is super reminiscent of that girl from Game of Thrones. And then I was like, oh, because that is the name of the girl from Game of Thrones. Someone with the Twitter name Cersei Lannister sent me these pictures. These are pictures that her 8-year-old daughter Lori drew. I love that. First of all, this is much better than what I was doing at the time when I was 8 years old. My drawings were, they were not as sophisticated, and I definitely didn't have a handle on colors like this. So this is really cool. I love that. I love seeing young kaiju fans. I love seeing their art. And it's also pretty cool because, like, we don't often hear about, or at least I don't often hear about, any female kaiju fans. So that's really cool to hear about some new young female kaiju fans. It's always a good thing to hear about. All right, this next one, I mess up his name every time. What is it? It's Lee Cowboy Beep Boop. That's how I'm supposed to say it. Lee Cowboy Beep Boop. I'm sorry, you spelled your Twitter name wrong. he sent his pictures of his intimidation display drawings, the Rodan vs. Ghidorah shot. That's awesome. We got lots of Rodan vs. Ghidorah stuff today. Drago sent us his Ghidorah art. That's really cool as well. Group at Psy hit us with his Rodan vs. Ghidorah interpretation. I love the coloration going on here, how sparkly everything looks, and the lightning coming out of Ghidorah's mouth. Pretty sweet. Godzilla fan Henry also did that same shot of Rodan fighting Ghidorah. It's a popular shot. Really cool here as well. I love the detailing on both monsters. And then we have one of Rodan and Ghidorah, but it's not that shot. It's Rans, Ghidorah, and Rodan. I say and Rodan because they're not battling in this image. They're just fighting in a different form, I guess. Ghidorah's chasing Rodan. This is really good. I love Rand's art. He's always great. Same with Chris Willett. Chris Willett, 117, always kills it, and this is no exception. We have Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. It's so cool. Great sense of scale here. I love how small Godzilla looks next to Ghidorah. It's gonna be one hell of a fight in this new movie. And he did a great job with everything here with Ghidorah. You got the very detailed tail going on here, just like in the trailer. Everything looks great. Great job, Chris. Or Christian, I'm sorry. What should I call you? I don't know. Your Twitter name says both. This one blew up, and rightfully so. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. It's Birmel Giraro. I definitely said that wrong, but holy cow, this art blew up. It's amazing. This should have been the Japanese poster for Godzilla King of the Monsters. What are we talking about with that other photoshopped one? This one looks better than the actual official one. This is amazing. You have Godzilla standing here in DC. You got the planes flying around. You've got Mothra and Rodan both looking amazing. Mothra retains her classic Toho coloration here, so he went with the normal design rather than the blue. Ghidorah looks awesome, and then the lightning, the coloration. This is amazing. I love this so much. All right, moving on from art, Jakks Pacific's Godzilla figures will be hitting Walmart this April, so keep your eyes out for that. We got some other figure stuff to talk about really quick. Neca has confirmed that they have the ability to do past versions of just the monsters that they have announced so far, so they do have the rights to Ghidorah, they're just not using them, but they have confirmed that they can do Godzillas just in general. They can do all Rodans, all Ghidorahs, and all Mothras, so that's really cool. Not quite what we expected. We did hear initially that they'd be able to do Toho monsters in general. Turns out that they can do Toho monsters as long as they're the Toho monsters from King of the Monsters, it seems. Also, NECA's Godzilla 2019 was originally estimated to come out in March, but it has been confirmed to be moved back to April/May, so some people are disappointed. I think that's all right. It's just a little bit longer of a wait. The packaging for the NECA Godzilla figures has been released. A lot of people thought this was really cool. I think it's not. I don't really have that much of an opinion on it. I just feel like it's incredibly reminiscent of the Jakks Pacific stuff, and there is a reason for that. It's because that's kind of what they have to do. These toy companies have to follow suit of what Legendary and Warner Brothers makes them do, and they're making them use this specific image of Godzilla. They're making them go with this color palette and with this style. So it's not like I'm blaming them. I'm not saying, dang, NECA, you gave us a horrible box. I'm just saying it didn't blow me away. I really didn't think it was all that special at all, and I much prefer the King Kong vs. Godzilla box. For those of you who didn't know, there was a brand new Godzilla King of the Monsters TV spot that was released called Intimidation Display. We've covered it on the channel. We did a full breakdown for it. It's a really cool TV spot. I've got the YouTube version linked down below, and I've got an HD version on Toho Kingdom linked down below. Michael Dougherty, I also have his tweet relating to it linked down below with the caption, "One king to rule them all," which is a good old Lord of the Rings reference. I also have the alternate version of the TV spot here, which is the, I don't know what to call it. We'll call it the Consider Us Intimidated version, the social media version. It's got the text on screen and it's formatted different. So that's the only difference. But remember that way the TV spot had lots of footage of Rodan? Get ready for a solid transition. Speaking of Rodan's images from that Godzilla King of the Monsters TV spot, we got a brand new image of Rodan coming to us from Empire Magazine. We actually have like 3 different variants of this. First off, we have the Royal Rumble. I can't read any of the text on here. I believe this is an article. I think it's the Empire Magazine article. Again, I can't read any of the text on here. It's just too small at this point, and there's not a good enough scan to be able to zoom in and read that. It's just too blurry. We have a pan and scan version, which is the big boy version of Rodan here attacking the Argo jet, or he's flying at it anyways. And then we have the widescreen image, the full picture here of Rodan flying up through the clouds. I've seen lots of people upset about the watermarks lately. They're upset when everyone does them. They're upset when Toho Kingdom does them. They're upset when Gurmoru Island does them. They're upset when Empire does them. They're upset when Total Film Magazine does them. I'm gonna solve your problem right here. Go watch that King of the Monsters TV spot. This shot is in there and it doesn't have a watermark. Also, yeah, it would make sense that if you're doing an exclusive, you'd slap a watermark on there. I really don't blame a single one of the people that I just named off. I don't think anyone should blame them for putting a watermark on there. It just makes sense. It's their exclusive. If you're reposting it, you're reposting their exclusive image. If it's not theirs, if someone else takes it and like maybe tweaks the coloration and then slaps a giant watermark on there, then I can understand why you'd be like, well, that's dumb. But if it's their exclusive, if they're the ones who are revealing it to the world, it would make sense that they get the rights to put a watermark on there. That's just how it works. If you're the first person to reveal it, you get the watermark. If you're not, if you're just a reposter, don't put a watermark on it. That's the way I view it. But this is all relating to an upcoming Empire Magazine article that will have a whole bunch of pictures from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Again, we have an image of it, but it's too blurry to read at this point, so we have to wait for HD scans. I don't actually think the magazine is out yet, so we have to wait a little bit longer to get our hands on it. There is a new image of Godzilla contained in here. It's a picture of Godzilla sitting up over the submarine, the Monarch sub. I'm really not sure when this is going to occur in the movie. I cannot pin it. It's a daytime shot of Godzilla, which makes me happy. I didn't actually think we'd get to see Godzilla in the daytime in this movie, but here he is, which is a very good thing. I really only thought we'd get to see Godzilla during daytime at the very end of the film when he looks at the camera and he's all beat up or whatever. But this looks like it probably comes, I don't know. I really cannot figure out when this would come in the movie. It looks like it happens before he's supercharged, so I don't know. And again, the supercharged thing, that's just a theory. I don't actually know if he does get supercharged. I've seen a lot of people pointing to the dorsal fins saying, oh man, it's the 2014 dorsal fins again. It's not. Those look to me like the 2019 dorsal fins, although this is a very 2014 reminiscent shot. I will say, however, that there is always the possibility that this does happen during Godzilla's call to arms scene, and they've just tweaked the coloration here for the HD still. That's unlikely, but it is a possibility. There's also a lot of memes that have come from this image of Godzilla looking down at the puny humans. This Empire Magazine article seems to be focused on Rodan quite a bit. We do have a quote from it saying, Rodan is a bit of a rogue. It's a Michael Dougherty quote. You never quite know where his loyalties lie. Very interesting. So, of course, we know that Ghidorah and Rodan have a little scuffle in the movie, and so you'd think that Rodan might be a good guy. But we also know that Rodan attacks DC with Ghidorah. They're doing it together. So I think what's going to happen in this movie is Rodan's going to wake up. He's going to be something of a chaotic neutral. He'll destroy things, but he won't really mean to. It's just when he's flying over them, they break. He's going to get into a fight with the military. They'll probably attack him first. They'll get into a big scuffle. He will wind up coming in contact with Ghidorah, presumably because the Argo jet draws the two together. They will have a big fight, and Ghidorah's gonna win. Rodan's gonna become subservient to Ghidorah until the end of the film, when presumably Ghidorah is defeated by Godzilla. Rodan might be like, yeah, I was playing both sides, I'm gonna switch to your side, Godzilla. Or maybe Rodan will be like, during the fight, whoa, this Godzilla guy is a lot tougher than I thought he'd be. I'm gonna switch teams here really fast so that I don't lose. That could also happen. In terms of the plenty of destruction that's been promised from Rodan in this movie, Michael Dougherty had this to say: Godzilla's more of a lumbering, plodding presence. It takes him a couple of days to destroy a city like Tokyo. Yeah, in what movie, Mikey Dougherty? I feel like he does a pretty good job at it. Rodan can level it without even thinking. He's this massive A-bomb, so there's a speed and ferocity he brings. So this is building on a previous quote Michael Dougherty said, where he said, Rodan will in a lot of ways be more powerful than Godzilla. He's essentially an A-bomb with wings. Yeah, that is true, that Rodan does have the ability to create more destruction than Godzilla at a faster scale. It just makes sense that way. We even see that in the original Rodan movie. Rodan causes a lot of destruction, and it just, you know, it just makes sense. Rodan would have that ability because he can fly, and he can fly very quickly, and he's very large. Meanwhile, you got Godzilla, who I think his damage is a little more devastating than Rodan's, because Rodan might fly over a city and flatten it with a shockwave, but Godzilla releases some atomic breath, and then you can't live in that city for like a decade because it's just filled with radiation. Just saying, Godzilla's still the man. E.T. did an interview with Millie Bobby Brown. I wish I could have it play here or have screenshots of it or something, but I just couldn't get it to download. They have that video locked down. If someone can figure out a way to snag that off the internet, good for you, I couldn't. Anyways, they did an interview with Millie Bobby Brown, in which case we learned that she's a bit of a YouTube prank star on set with Michael Dougherty. The two of them were apparently involved in an ongoing prank war that would also get the other cast members involved. Kyle Chandler and Vera Farmiga, they'd be involved. Seems like a lot of fun, just seemed like a really nice, fun environment to work on. We saw some BTS shots of Madison Russell on her hands and knees as a yellow explosion blast a door open behind her in a hallway. I think this happens in Fenway Park, and I think we do see shots of that in the trailer as she's running around the hallways with the Orca in hand. Again, the Orca has been confirmed by Vera Farmiga in the Total Film magazine article to be the monster DJ box, that's what she calls it, where she can somehow communicate with the monsters. So again, that comes from the Total Film magazine article. But there we have a shot in this of Millie Bobby Brown on hands and knees as an explosion goes off behind her. We also have a shot of her running through Fenway Park as explosions happen around her. And again, I think we do see HD shots of that in the trailer, so that's all good to go. The ET girl who was there on set took some photos with our cast members. We've got Vera Farmiga here, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Millie Bobby Brown, and someone who I can't totally tell. At first, I thought that was our good boy Ken Watanabe, Dr. Serizawa, but I think that's actually Kyle Chandler. I just can't totally tell because his face is all covered by that hood. But anyways, that's the video. I should have just ended it there. I shouldn't have done the outro. Hey everyone, before the video ends, I know I'm kind of sabotaging myself by sticking this at the very end of the video, meaning that not everyone's gonna make it to this. Most people will have clicked off by this point, but I know there was a lot of huge reveals today from the set of Godzilla 2. I'm sorry I couldn't make this video about that. This video was recorded yesterday. I'm posting it today, hopefully. Checking the time, it's like kind of late, but I'm trying to post it today. I just don't have enough time to do a full video on that stuff yet. I've got way too much stuff to do. I've got multiple tests to be studying for right now. So I'll see you guys in the next one with all the good breakdown of all the good set stuff. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. D-Man out.